unchecked. I feel like I need to throw that out there in this day and age of government warnings and warning labels on everything that we buy. I have found that a lot of people across this country are unaware of just how dangerous our government is. Now we're about neck deep in hope and change right now. How's that hope and change working out for you? That's funny, I got the same response from every state that I've been in. My name is Daniel Blackford. I am the chairman of the Senate Tea Party just outside of Houston. I did, in fact, spend 11 years with the U.S. Secret Service, and I spent 4 of those years, thank you. I spent 4 of those years with the Clinton administration, and before anybody throws anything at me, that was not my choice, that was my assignment. But it did give me some real insight, and it gave me some insight on how politics really works. I was naive when I moved to Washington. I believe that our congressmen, our senators, and all the way up to our president actually cared about people like me and you. I was naive, I was a young man. And it didn't take me long to realize that that was not the case. One of the best lessons I learned in Washington is that politics is perception. Politics is perception. I had a White House staff member tell me once that unless it happens on CNN, it didn't happen. Okay, all right, well, following that school of thought, then I would perceive that the current administration clearly doesn't like Americans or the American way of life. The arrogance that we see out of Washington is sickening. We got a president who gives almost 3 minutes of shout-outs and hellos before he addresses the tragedy in Fort Hood, Texas. And still refuses to use the words act of terrorism. I am a small business owner. I teach firearms. I do security consulting. I license people for the concealed handgun license in the state of Texas. And I got some gun fans here. All right. And I can tell you that I can't wait to see how they're going to use this tragedy in Fort Hood to roll out their anti-gun plan. Because just like Rahm Emanuel said, he's not going to let a good crisis go to waste. They're going to blame the guns for this act of terrorism, which to me is a lot like blaming spoons for making Rosie O'Donnell fat. It just doesn't work.
That was Gina. That was Melissa.
We told Washington, we said, hey, we don't want a stimulus bill. And they passed it at a rapid pace. We said, okay, listen, if you're going to pass a bill, can you at least do us a favor and read the darn thing first? They said, well, I don't know, we're pretty busy up here. You know, we got a big agenda we got to get pushed through here, but we'll hire a speed reader and we'll let them read it. That way we can tell you, hey, the bill's been read. We told them, hey, we don't want you to bail out big business in the banking industry. And they bailed out big business in the banking industry. Now, I am a small business owner. I didn't get my part of that bailout. We told the government we don't want you in the auto industry, and now we, the taxpayers, own General Motors. Does anybody get a discount when you go to GM to buy a car now? No? We told them we definitely don't want you in the healthcare industry. Yet they continue to ram healthcare down our throat. You know, the House bill that passed 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, adds an additional 111 new bureaucracies on what's already a heavy laden system. Brings our deficit to $12 trillion. Now, I don't know about in your house, but in my house, when our spending exceeds our income, we call that a crisis. And we cut our spending until our budget is balanced again. And no matter how much I've argued with my wife, well, why don't we just follow the government's plan and spend our way out of debt? She won't allow that to happen unless there are specific earmarks in our spending for the shoe budget. Our unemployment rate is now well up in the double digits. They're claiming 10%, reality it's over 17%. Where's the jobs that the stimulus promised? They do lie. Our congressmen get up in the halls of Congress and they make passionate speeches and they bang on the lectern and tell us how much they love American people and how much they love the American way of life and how they're doing all of this to benefit the American people. But their actions tell us something different. Their actions are what has put these farmers out of work. Over 40,000 people. The downstream effects of that are much greater. Trucking industry, packaging industry, farm supplies, seed, feed, fertilizer, herbicides, pesticides, the list goes on, and I don't have to explain it to you. All this by using a typical liberal tactic. By holding a victim up and saying, this is what we have to protect because this thing can't protect itself. They enacted this under the Endangered Species Act, an act that was never intended, never designed to protect a fish. Kind of makes me hungry for anchovies. If you get into the spirit of the Endangered Species Act, the spirit of that act was made to protect the American bald eagle. It was made to protect the California condor, the spotted owl, and so on. Not a fish, and not a bait fish at that. Nancy Pelosi and Reid and the rest of the environmental mafia have decided that 40,000 farmers now can no longer contribute to the American taxpaying system. That these people are now in danger of foreclosure, bankruptcy, and the inability to provide for their families. Today it's a Delta smell. Tomorrow there's no telling what it's going to be.